I mean,
I rock the dad.
You the champ.
I rock the dad.
But
a little bit, yeah.
Would it help you to be like cut up?
I mean, it can. Like I was like that, like early on, you know. But it's like nah, I feel good, bro. Like muscle takes a lot more oxygen to operate than fat does, and that's one thing I noticed. Like, cause like I used to fight some of these dudes I fought, like some big ass jack dudes, right? They cut up like that, and I just weigh on them. I just be heavy on their arms, and when they get tired quick, and they don't replenish. Their arms get heavy, shit like that. I've gone into some fights where I actually put on more muscle, bro. That shit, it can hurt you, bro. Being big, a lot of muscle hurts you in a fight, bro. Hey, you know the last time I've been dropped with a body shot? Never. I've never been dropped with a body shot before. So,
all right, we going.
It's a method to the madness. It's a method to the madness.
Today we are joined by the reigning and defending UFC light heavyweight champion. This 31-year-old is originally from Chicago, but is fighting out of Grand Rapids. He is someone who told us that he wants his time as a belt holder to be a reign of terror. Join us in welcoming Jamahal Sweet Dreams Hill.
All right, we live now, or we've been live. You told me the craziest story I ever heard when I was just over there doing my homework. I said, when's the first time you knocked out somebody? And you was like, I knocked out a grown man at 12. But when was the first time I knocked somebody out? I was like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Why was you so angry?
I wasn't angry, bro. He just did some foul shit.
You remember how you comprehended that he disrespected you at 2, 3?
Apparently so.
So I just want you to kind of tell E.T. wasn't there. Kind of tell us the story again, like how they told you what happened when you knocked somebody out.
So I was little, right? So I was like 3. You don't remember much. It's like in flashes, right? So apparently we were playing, and then at some point he got it in our head that it's like it'd be funny to make him run from you trying to piss on him. So that's what he did, and I told him I'm gonna knock you out when you done. I'm moving, I'm running back, like dodging from him, and he did, and he tried to turn, flip up and turn and run. And when he turned around, I hit his ass right behind his ear, and he went out.
This is at 3 years old.
Yeah.
And how old was the?
I was a big victim. 2-year-old.
How old was the?
He was the same age as me. It was my best friend. It was my best friend. It was actually my best friend. He's about a month older than I am.
That's crazy.
His mom. The thing that made the whole story like stick out was the fact that like his mom was like trying to wake him up and shit. And then she's like, how many fingers am I holding up? Right? And he like, I think he said like 4. She's holding up like 2 fingers. He said like 4 or some shit. And my mom was like, I was standing over there. Him can't count. Him can't count. Let he up. I knock he out again. Bro, no bullshit. To this day, my cousins and everybody still say this shit to me.
That's crazy. So he started off that. So you're always a fighter, but you're known for basketball and football. What kind of made you stop doing that into saying I'm going to into the trenches and really start brawling for a living?
I wasn't big like you niggas for one. Yeah. All right, so I went on a college visit and I actually saw how big these motherfuckers were. You know what I mean? No, just playing. No, but no, I did see that, but it wasn't going. It wasn't going for me like that. Like I wasn't getting like recognition. I didn't have the type of respect that I wanted to have. You know what I mean? As far as those go, like football, I had a little more. It went a little better for me. So I actually played like a couple years of semi-pro for like the local team or whatever. But I was still training and I was still fighting at the time. You know, and I had already won like a pro amateur title at the time. You know, so it was like, what's really going like? I got to get this film, and hopefully I can get it to the right people. There was no clear path. There was no clear path for none of them because nobody came from Grand Rapids at the time really doing MMA, you know. So there wasn't no clear path and none of them. So I just had to kind of weigh it out. Like, all right, what's my best option? And I felt like my best option was the one that was solely depended on me. It's all in how I perform. Don't get me wrong. I love being a part of the team. I love the brotherhood that comes with being on the team and stuff. But sometimes the success of the team got fucked over because of some because of some individuals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like I don't really want to bank on that. I want it all to be on me.
What's the biggest adjustment with that you learned? Because we all talk about team sports, and I've been in positions where I've been the best player. I've been in positions where I've been the seventh man, where like you have to rely on that person moving forward. Like we talk about Damian Lillard. Certain seasons he just won by himself. Like, you know what I mean? That was a great safety blanket. When it came over to that, and you basically they locked the cage, and you have nobody to depend on but yourself. How did you get that type of courage, confidence, and what was the toughest part to adapt into being on like a solo grind?
I think it's just who I am. You know, I always believed that I can do anything. Yeah. Like it didn't matter what it was. Like honestly, like hooping wise, like I know y'all some of that like the top like 100 of motherfuckers that ever played. They're like in the world, like top of the top in the world. You know what I'm saying? But I still get out there and ball with y'all, bro. Like I'm like dead ass. Like you know what I mean? It's like no matter what I did, I always had that confidence. So it was just natural for me. But I still take a team approach though. You know what I mean? My coaches and my teammates, we still get in there. Like, don't get me wrong, when I go in there, what I do in there is on me. But we still working as a team. I'm still listening to my coaches. You can even see it, even in the title fight. Whenever class, he got his hands up under my butt, for a double leg in the last fight. Yeah. And you can see I like tried to grab him, like tried to move his hand. I couldn't, and instantly bang, look right into my corner. What's up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you want me like? Just be heavy on it, work the elbows, and be heavy. Just try to pop his hands up. So then, I created my own thing. Like, all right, work the hands. You know, they give me the instruction and stuff like that. So, like, bro, we done pretty much basically jump people in the cage before, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like, even how they're coaching sometimes has affected the dudes that I'm fighting. Like they'll say something, they'll call out something that the dude's about to do. Nah, he's hesitant. You know what I'm saying? Like, even just little things, bro. You know, so it's still a team. It's still a team thing.
Yeah, during the COVID, obviously you fought during COVID, during Fight Island. You talk about getting calls and stuff made from your corner. I remember, DC, he's pretty anime. He's a great commentator, Daniel Cormier. Is it true? Like, did you guys ever hear advice from him where it was empty arenas and, like, he used to say he was a cheat code? You think that's the truth or no? The advice he was giving
from there? He can be because he's one of the best fighters that ever lived, you know, and he's a very, very intelligent person. Me personally, I've never heard it. I haven't heard them because I don't pay attention to that, right? Yeah. So whenever I get in there, like, of course you can hear the elevation of the crowd, but as far as that, I really don't hear anything other than my coaches, you know, because that's all I'm listening for. The only thing I'm listening for is my coaches. I don't hear nothing else. You know, I mean, I can hear the instructions from the ref. Occasionally, I can hear the other corner when they, when they're trying to get him to do something, you know, and then other than that, it's just my coaches.
So I want to go back to, the very beginning. I just want you to, tell us how you came to be sitting in this chair right now.
Like, you talking about like career-wise or like?
I just mean like how you became who you are, and you can include whatever you want. Somebody tried to piss on me, I knocked them out. I like hoop. I was hooping, I was playing football, but I was always in the fights. I remember you told me you fought 30 people and 10 of them got knocked out instantly.
Or you said like I was a fighter, but every time I hit somebody, I knocked them out. So like, like growing up,
when I hit people, I realized it was different. Yeah, so like,
it's kind of a different story that we never really seen, and I just want to hear from your viewpoint, your vantage point, your lens of, how you came to be, because this is just an amazing story to me.
Yeah, thank you. If I'm really digging down to the core of it, for real, a lot of it was doubt, bro. Not that I had in myself. Like I said, I was confident always. I believed I could do anything, but everybody else tried to put limitations on me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you need to be realistic. Like, and that did kind of do something to me, I ain't never like this really the first time I'm really thinking about it. That did do something to me, I guess it did put a chip on my shoulder. I don't really like the ideas like saying, oh yeah, I got a chip on my shoulder, but now I really don't care, because it's like no matter what I did, no matter what I showed, it was never enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like the basketball stuff, the basketball thing didn't really go how I wanted it to go. Because no matter what I showed, it was never. To me, it felt like it was never enough to, like, you got to have a certain green light from coaches in order to go, you know what I mean, to really, do your thing on the court. Yeah. To really do your thing on the court. So, like, you know what I mean, all right, I'm going to show whenever it was my opportunity, I showed it. But it was never given to me to, like, all right, I trust you like that, you know what I'm saying? And then in football, I did my job, you know what I'm saying? But still, every so often, like, whenever you have a mistake, you mess up. It's like, all right, now you want to send somebody else in. You want to try to take me out of play, too. You know what I mean? You want to try to sit me for a quarter. You know what I mean? This, that, or the other.
So then from there, that's when you for sure it's just like,
yeah, I walked
it's
out.
just me in the cage. I'm going this way, that way. And I believe Anderson Silva is the person that inspired you to really do it, right?
Yeah, bro, 100%. When I seen him and I seen him fight and I seen what he could do, it was like, I want to do that shit. You know what I mean? Not only do I want to do that shit, I want to whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I wanted to be him. You know what I mean? Anytime, like, that's how I always been. Whenever I seen the top dog, I want to take the top dog out. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be the top dog.
Now, you said something before the Glover Teixeira fight. You're like, I'm going to ride into his city, ride up to his castle, tell him
to the gates of Brazil.
Yeah, tell him send me out there, king, and I'm gonna kill him in front of everybody.
Yeah, send me your best.
Yeah. And so I'm going out there, but he's never been out the country or nothing. That was his first time ever doing it.
It was my first time ever leaving. It's a beautiful experience, Drake.
Flying coach out the country to a title fight versus a top 10 dude that never fell out the light heavyweight pound for pound top 10 in a decade.
He never left the top 5.
Top 5.
He never left the top 5 since they made the ranking system.
And he retired him, dropped his glove.
So, he retired?
Yeah, he retired.
Yeah, so,
his cornerman retired too.
What I want to know is, how do you view, this uprising of UFC and the paths people are taking and your paths? What makes you so special and different? Because these guys are training. I'm seeing little kids train.
Yeah.
And you straight from where we come from. And our culture, we always say our culture can't be touched.
Grab me.
We done been through so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like my man who went through the Sahara Desert.
Francis Nwangu.
Yeah, he didn't went through
his story, like how he traveled through the Sahara Desert like 5 different times and tried to jump
sand mine, working in the sand mine.
Yeah, but we have the same type of moments where we have to overcome systematic oppression. Like, they don't like when we talk about it, but it's true. Like, I just seen a magician. He had this guy put his arm over this table, and it was like covered up to here. And he put a rubber arm down the side of his leg, like that was his arm. And then he took a ruler and he would brush the ruler on his real hand and on the fake hand. And then over time, he was just brushing the fake hand, but he was feeling it on his real hand, even though his real hand wasn't getting touched. And it's all about, like, what goes on in your psychologicals. That's not a word, but we're going to use it. And it's saying the power of the mind and the state that black people are in America. And it just keeps getting pushed further and further away from the truth. But at the same time, it creates greatness. Like, we overcome everything. So there's no scenario you can put me in where I'm going to be afraid or scared. I'm just going to overcome it. Right. And we say, like, you're that moment in your life where it clicks, like, I'm him. What was that moment for you?
That was honestly, that was right before, not this fight, the fight before. Whenever I fought Thiago Santos, I was in the back. And I was just moving, bro. I was feeling good. I'm hitting the pads. You know what I mean? Now I'm just trying different combos, like, I'm playing with different angles, bro. And I'm like, it's like I can't miss. You know what I mean? We hit the ground. It's like I can't. It's like I know exactly what to do. And then, like, I don't know, bro. It just clicked over me, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, I actually started tearing up, bro. It was like, I'm him. Right. I said that shit. I told Michael, I was like, I'm really him, bro. And I knew then I was ready to take this shit over for real. Yeah,
that's wild. So I want to go back to the Dana White series. Basically, so it's equivalent to, like, I guess, the NBA G League.
I seen it.
Sense,
how did you get in there? Like, how do you make the cut?
Yeah, how do you make the cut? Because you did very well on amateur fights. Like, you had a pretty, or were you like 7-0 prior to? Right?
No, I had like 13 amateur fights. Yeah. But, like, the thing was, Michigan wasn't sanctioned, so, like, it was like it was like I said, there was no path. There was no path in either sport. Yeah. Then my boy Cody Stamen got signed with the UFC. He went like 14-1. You know what I mean? Then he got signed, and they signed him on like short notice. And it was just like, that's why for a while I stepped away from MMA, bro. I was just gonna be a regular dude, work a regular job, bro. I fucking hated it. I hated it, bro. It killed me. It was killing me, bro. So I had to go in for this. And so the way I looked at it was just beat everybody. Just beat whoever the best is, who y'all think is the best. There was this kid, there was this new guy, like after this while, it's been like a couple years, so they like really forgot about me. Like they forgot like who I was and what I did early on. So I came back, they like, oh, this kid's a beast. He's just won Fighter of the Year like 2 days before our fight, you know what I mean? Like all of that, right? So I go in and I knocked him out. Then he ended up losing to this other dude. They like, oh, this dude's a beast, this dude. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do my pro. I went ahead and did my pro debut, and I fought him, and I whooped his ass. Then there was another dude from the other side of the state. They was like, oh yeah, he was top dude, this and that. I TKO'd him. Man, there was this dude, like, I felt I had like a little weird situation, you know what I mean, or whatever. And then so I ended up just needing to fight. So I took a fight against this dude, but I made sure his record was trash, but this is like my third fight, you know what I mean, my third pro fight, and he's got over 12 pro fights, and he's fought dudes that are already in the UFC.
Yeah, it's RPI, it's good, yeah.
So I went in, and I beat him up, and then there was my boy Daquan, which like we got cool after, like, you know what I mean, we've grown close. It's like a brother to me now, but he was the top dude though, you know what I mean, at the time, you know, he was like ranked like number 2 in the country, like all of that, you know. So it's like, I mean, that's the fight I want. This is my 4th fight. I think he had like 26. He had 26 pro fights. I think he had like 19 knockouts or something like that. I went in. I fought him for the title. 5 rounds. I beat him by unanimous decision. And from there, they kind of told me, like, I signed with my management. I signed with my manager now that I have now, and then from there they was like kind of told me like, oh, we're pretty sure we can get you on some contention. So I did like one other fight, and then from there I actually took another fight. And the first day of training camp, when I was on my way to the gym, I sat in the car, got ready to go to the gym, and they called me and told me I was gonna be on Contender Series. So it was the best way that I can take for like a fighter, win, go get win on the regional scene, show yourself on the regional scene. Get you a good manager, bro. You got to get you a manager that's in that group, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really how people get in the UFC. They sign it with the right managers.
As a champion, what do you want your reign to be like? Like, what type of champ do you want to be? So you talk about manager. You see what Francis did. He sacrificed his belt for bigger release because he's trying to take jumps for the fighters' rights. He wanted insurance. He wanted, more money. He wanted pay-per-view points. He wanted stuff that a champion should be doing to build a fast-growing sport. So when you look at that way, and obviously it's still early on, you're just getting all your money and everything like that, are you going to try to reign the same way, dominant outside the ring as you are inside?
Yeah, like for like right now, I'm just building bridges. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody like that. I really, like, regardless of anything, regardless of confidence I have in myself inside the cage, like, I know I ain't nobody like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just another motherfucker for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. I think like, like even like the influence, like I'm now realizing like, all right, I like the influence like of whatever and things like that, but like to me, I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? So like that's all I know how to be. That's all I know. So that's really all I am. So like I could talk to some people, but I don't know how much people really gonna listen. So I don't, you know what I mean? For the most part, with the fight, as far as the fighters go, I just try to be cool. You know what I mean? Get everybody to talk. I'm open. Like I'm an open person. You know what I mean? So like we talk about anything. So I talk to the fighters about that. I talk to them about bread like that. I think the main thing that needs to happen to a degree for as far as like the pay thing and all of that stuff to change, fighters gonna have to come together to a degree. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to come together.
That's
the problem though. It's too many. Fighting is an individual sport. It's even heavier individualism in that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? And there's some great, smart, intelligent people in fighting and shit, but there's also some dumbass motherfuckers are fighting, bro. Some of the fighters is like they fighters. That's what they are. You know what I'm saying?
What are some of the things you are starting to realize about being a champ? Because, I think you're the champ now. You're the light heavyweight champ, correct? And you're going to have fights defending the belt. And, for me, what I always thought of is I want to be known as a champ. And that's how I view you. And so how?
But
so
I'm not
like
already. I'm already a champ.
But how long does it take? Forever. How long does it take? How many times is defending it before everyone, like wherever you go, they know they go to champ?
I don't know, but right now though, my focus is like, what you said, what do you want my like reign to be like? Terror. I'm dead ass, bro. Like they don't understand. Like I really feel some type of way, bro. Like I feel some type of way when it come to the fight game right now. I didn't before. Like on the climb up, I was just here to do my job. Got my hard head on. You know what I mean? But for me to step up like I did and do what I did, and for it to be disrespected the way it was, like. Y'all got me fucked up, bro. Y'all got me, and now I know I'm him. I'm the guy. Y'all got to come fight me now. Now y'all got to come show me what's up. And that's the beauty of the thing for me, because you can't fuck with me, and I'm knowing that now, and now I'm ready to show them that, like full blown, bro. It's all the way up for everybody in this division, bro. I don't care whoever signed their name across the line for me, bro. It's going down, bro. It's going down. I already know how I'm coming.
So who you think's next? After you won the fight, the next day, Jiri takes Jiri Prochazka. Yeah, he took a video in the code, shirt off and everything, telling you his
shirt off.
Or did he not have shirt? He had his coat. He had a coat on. It was cold. It was cold. I'm like, this man outside doing a video? That's crazy.
He got me thinking about it.
But he said like I'm coming like for you, whatever. Yeah. And then you did a response video with that. Yeah. That type of stuff like gets you going. But is that somebody you want to see next?
That's the only person I really want to see next. I mean, that's the only person I really want.
Oh, that's gonna be a good fight.
Like, I want my man to recover. Do everything you need to do to get back and get right. You know what I mean? I'm good, bro. I mean, I'm chilling. But yeah, I've been asking for him for like 2-3 years now. I've been asking for him for a while, bro. Even before he won the belt, because I knew it was a good fight, and then I know how they like. Yeah, they think he that. They think he him. Yeah, they think he him. So I gotta, you know what I mean, stroll up to his gates too, right in front of his people. What's happening, man? Then like the whole like the one another like the Alex Pereira.
Pereira. Okay, yeah, I know him.
Yeah, like him, bro. He been like he steady keep talking about me, bro. You like, but you signed a contract to fight somebody else. Yeah. I mean, if it's really like that, if it's really up like that, bro, you could have did what you needed to do. Start working towards the 205, because they're not finna just give you a 205 title shot. Yeah. You could, if you really want this smoke, bro. Yeah. You can start putting in the work to get in line. Because I'm on, bro. Man.
In saying that, I watch boxing and I see a lot of guys duck a lot of guys. And from what I can see from you, ain't no ducking and no dodging.
Bro. Ain't no ducking, bro.
So,
ain't no ducking.
But at the same time, there is a gamesmanship of selling a fight. Have you put that into your repertoire or making strides to understand, like, Floyd Mayweather was a genius of it. Like, he could sell a fight. You know what I mean? And he was smart at timing up who he fought too. You know, just the art of selling the fight. You know, give me your thoughts on that, and you know if that's something that you give some thought to.
Yeah, 100%. You got to sell the fight. Like,
you ever feel like you too real to sell a fight? I feel like
that's what I'm thinking.
I feel like you answer questions because it's not like I don't want to. All right, let's fight it.
I believe in selling. I think more so for me is I understand what sells a fight. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I just myself. You know what I mean? I like, if he respectful, we gonna be respectful. We gonna be cool. We can be good. You know what I mean? Because I'm coming for you the same regardless. My fight, the way that I fight, my style, that's what sells my fights. Yeah. You know what I mean? I truly believe that. I believe that how I fight and you know what I mean, how I go about it when I'm in there. That's what sells it for me. So I don't need to do no extra shit, like build no extra weird build up or nothing like that. You know what I mean? That's just smoke and mirrors, because all I'm gonna do is ignore that shit and go in there and just fight anyway.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, but it's some motherfuckers I don't like.
Like who? Like who? Huh? Where's a moment where you're like, Because there's stuff in the league where you'll see situations, not like we do all the fake tough guy stuff where it's like overly capped, where you're like, I wish I was right there. Like say the Conor McGregor bus thing. Like is Conor throwing chairs at you and the homies on the bus, or not?
He wouldn't have had to throw him on the bus, bro. Because when they pulled up like that, we'd have got off the bus. Yeah, we getting off the bus, bro. Me personally, I'm getting off the bus.
I don't know. I think it was a psychological part of that too, where that was against.
You're scared of Khabib.
Khabib was like, all right, man.
Khabib beat his ass.
No. I'm saying like I don't think he's scared of Khabib. Like what happened the day before. So Khabib and his homies pressed Conor's best friend or old best friend, Artemis Labov or whatever. Basically pressed him, didn't even punch him or nothing. Like
he
Khabib,
slapped. I think he slapped him.
Yeah, literally grabbed his head and it's like, look at me, like stop playing with my name type stuff. Who out the bam, like don't ever say it again, and slapped him, just walked off. And that was kind of like a mental, bro. You just,
hey, but you got to give Conor his points though.
No, Conor's a dog,
up, bro. He squatted up, bro.
Yeah, no, he did.
And jet with like 20 motherfuckers. And they flew from Ireland.
100,000. You know this the next day.
Yes.
So they flew 10 hours later.
Day, bro. A mob never pulled up on the stadium, bro.
And that's what happened.
But I watched that fight.
Yeah, and I bought it. And shout out to like. You go those type of situations, I want to understand what type of champ you want to be. You look at Conor, and Conor, his mentality is always like, all right, if I lost, I showed up. You know what I mean? And like I took the tough fights. And you have the Khabib situations where it's like, okay, I do one fight. I know I'm great enough, it's over. You know what I mean? And it's like, what type of, obviously your mentality says you want to reap terror, but are you on those fighters as well where it's like, yo, if the Glover Teixeira thing went 5 rounds and it was this, that, and the other, are you one of those people that can go home, roll off if it didn't go your way because you bounce back the next fight and be like, I'm going to come get my shit back?
I mean, I only lost one fight.
Ever your whole life?
In my life. And I was in the UFC. I mean, my elbow got dislocated. You can see it. You can pull up the video. You'll see it. I was sitting on the ground. I'm sitting there. I'm like this. You see how I responded, bro?
Yeah.
I went from that moment, from that loss, and now I'm the champion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to... Your upbringing. We talk about like, all the good moments and everything like that. And we have this moment, this topic on our conversation called, Guns and Butter. Like from the movie Baby Boy, Ving Rhames. And he talks about, the micro decisions that he made in a certain point that led to later in life that paid huge dividends. Like, what do you think that was for you that really... I know, even deeper, just to the core, made you Jamahal Sweet Dreams Hill. Like, where not to just be a regular fighter that goes through it, but to be the champ and overcome stuff. Because
that football game,
yeah. I mean, of course, a football game for sure. But I mean, there's a killer in there, bro. And
man, bro. I won one game, I went from winning championships growing up and shit, like top. I won one game in high school, all 4 years. We won one game. You know what I mean? So it was like. That stuff like that. There was that.
You got a special story, bro.
It's just a bunch of different things, bro. Just a bunch of different things. Like one of the biggest things, I've always been allowed to be myself. I had my my auntie that just passed, my auntie Nat, she's one of the closest people in the world to me because she let me be me. You know what I mean? And she just, she nurtured that, and she gave me the courage to actually be like, yeah, this is who I am. That's what it is. You don't like it, it is what it is. Because that's the way she was. My mom too. My mom gave me the space to like be me. She ain't trying to make me be nobody. She really ain't put like no certain expectation like, oh, you need to be, you know what I mean? So I was just allowed to be me, and this is just how I morphed, how I morphed into that. And I don't know, bro. Like if I had to go to like recent, one of the biggest things that I had to think was just like, all right, that set me on this path was whenever I've talked about this before. It was a conversation that I had with a supervisor at the last job that I worked at. We were sitting in the back, and I was talking to him. I'm like, yeah, bro, I was an amateur. I was a top amateur in the state. You see this guy. I think we just had watched like a UFC event and we was talking about it. I was like, yeah, I could beat that dude. I could beat these dudes and all that. Man looked at me like, that look like, man, shut your like, bro, gave me that look. He's like, bro, I ain't trying to be a dick, But if you could do that, you wouldn't be here. And so I'm like, you're right. And like, I couldn't say nothing. There was nothing I could say. You know what I mean? Except I quit. So I quit. And I left. And that's when I set up my first pro fight. And that's how I got here.
That sounds like something at the car wash.
Straight up, bro. But the manager clearly had you fucked up. You know what I mean?
I still got to pull back up there with the belt.
Yeah,
you know, I got to pull back up there.
I was like, oh, hating it. Like, damn, I just told you a dream, and you like, nah, bro, never.
Like, it wasn't that. It was just like, no offense, bro, but if you were really that good, you wouldn't be here. Real talk. You got to think, I'm like 26 at this time now.
Wow.
So now you got to think it's a 26-year-old man telling you this shit. That's like somebody that's like now, like 30, like that's like my boy. We're like, hey, yo, bro, I think I'm about to make this run to the league. Exactly.
He told me that. Y'all about to fight me because I said something about Lifetime Fitness hooping last night, bro. In the car, y'all some
we said don't be hating on Lifetime Fitness hooping, bro. You get some good runs in up there. All right, you get some good runs in there.
Famous supposed to be in there, Killer?
Huh?
Famous supposed to be in there?
Famous supposed to be at LA Fitness, bro. I know the vibes.
What's the difference between LA Fitness and Lifetime?
A lot.
Is it? Which one's better?
There's like a corner 3 in Lifetime. There's none in LA Fitness.
Oh, my bad.
There's like
a whole
safety in Lifetime. There's none at LA Fitness.
This man just did a whole. You're like the GM of the underworld of hoop.
I know, bro.
He ready to coach a rec league, bro. Y'all make him an offer, bro. He can take your rec league to the championship.
Come with me, bro. I'll put you in the second half.
Oh, he won the TBT. No, he was the coach of the TBT. They won the $1 million.
Oh
yeah. Tournament. It wasn't too shabby. But
that's details. Where he get down into the details.
Let's get back to you. What was we showed Dre some of your biggest hits, biggest knockouts, and everything. What was one of those moments where you're like, damn, like this is crazy? Like one of your favorite knockouts, favorite fights besides winning the bout?
There was a couple of them, bro. It was like the OSP fight.
Oh, that's a big one.
When I finished him, that was, you know what I mean, that was my first fight in the top 15 guy, getting ranked and stuff like that.
He gave John Jones a tough problem when they fought.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
John Jones,
he went 5 rounds with John Jones.
Yeah,
and I think like 2 or 3 of them, he had a broken forearm.
And he's an awkward fighter, like a little bit. They always say he's kind of a little.
He just been around a lot. He had fought everybody. Like you gotta think, I'm still like, when I fought OSP, that was like I'd only had like 8 fights at the time.
That's not a lot.
You know what I'm saying? I had 8 fights, and he's going. That was like his 40 something. He had already had like over 40 fights. You know, so it was like that. So yeah, going in and just dominating them the way that I did, that stepped me up, that leveled me up to be like, I can do that on this level. You know, and then just double down and just make sure I'm proficient at it. You know, and then it was probably the Johnny Walker knockout was a crazy one. You know, that was
who was the dude that you hit and he kind of fell forward and he stood up and he dropped? Oh my God, he not knocked out 3 times.
And then he hit him again.
Twice.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's the only part that I get confused on in UFC, when a guy is clearly gone, like before he hit the ground, and then y'all finish him off with a bang, bang, and I'm like, oh. But you got to do what you got to do.
Like I said, not everybody in that like understands what's going on. You got to think it's a lot of adrenaline going through your body. You know, you don't assess. You don't always assess things. You know what I mean?
You can't.
You're thinking to just win, like just get the win. The ref will let you know when to stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like the follow-up shot on Johnny Walker, in my eyes, he was just hurt. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I slip, bang, and I hit him and I seen his arms go back, I'm thinking like, all right, he's just like, I've seen people get hit and they like kind of like their legs kind of buckle.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like I didn't see he swung at the same time as I did. So the initial spring back, I didn't see that.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So whenever I seen him, I just seen his hand going like this. And I seen him go down. And if you look at it again, his eyes were still open. His eyes didn't close, so I hit him the second time.
That's aggressive, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kill him.
Yeah.
Yes. And even after the second follow-up shot, if you look, I dropped my shoulder into it and like I shoulder checked him in the head too, because I didn't expect the punch to like go through as clean as it did. So like I'm thinking like I'm about to hit him and it's gonna hit him like in his head and his neck, and you know, you hit there, your hand kind of gets caught, but it just right through his jaw, and that's like kind of overexerted.
So the hands are so nice. Would you ever do what most of these fighters are doing now? Conor McGregor went and fought Floyd Mayweather. Francis Ngannou's trying to go fight Anthony Joshua, the Tyson Furies.
Yeah.
You ever thought about that? Do you think
Yeah.
clearly you'd be able to make it and win a few fights? Could you beat Jake Paul for sure?
100%.
I would love to see that.
Yeah,
He wouldn't fight him.
Yeah.
Jake wouldn't fight him.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He
don't fight nobody.
Yeah, like the money. It's money. Like that's the thing, right? We fighting for a lot of dudes. You gotta win the fight just to make six figures. You know what I'm saying? So if you going and you can go now and you can make millions in one night off one fight. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you do that.
It's like live golf. They
No,
mad
for
at
sure,
them
but-
boys for taking $200 million to play less golf.
Yeah, but you see, Francis had to choose in between staying with UFC basically,
Standing on what he believed in.
yeah, or leaving. You know what I mean? So
But he was making millions though.
Was he?
Or just under. I believe the contract that they offer him would have been like a few million, but like when you sitting and you thinking like you know what I mean, like y'all look at y'all, whenever y'all going, y'all negotiate y'all checks, y'all use what you know what I mean, what you know about the. Now imagine we in a combat sport, the injuries in this sport honestly outweigh the ones in boxing. Like you can win a fight and still I won that fight, right? I still didn't do no media, bro. I had to go straight to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like you can win and I dominated, won every round. You could still go to the hospital. I had to get stitches in my face. You know what I mean? It's a nasty sport. And when you looking at other dudes doing it and they're making 30, 20, 50, 100 million, I get it.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to talk about. We have a lot of conversations about, how you use your legacy to parlay that into, continuing the lifestyle, enjoying life, using your success to, kind of sell off into the sunset comfortably,
Right.
which we struggle with a lot as well. And I know it's harder for you. Just speaking on the financials of that, it's like, y'all making good money, but it's like you almost still have to work. And so have you thought about post-career?
The way my pay was brought up was a little different than everybody else. So I made a little bit more money than most people, you know what I'm saying, would have to where I am, where I am at this point. But yeah, bro, shit, that was
Right, because somebody was like, how you lose $1 billion? Somebody asked me that. And I said, well, Tyson lost $300 million in like the late 80s, early 90s, which is $1 billion with inflation, right? So there you go right there. And so I always, I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on, what you want to do when you're done it? Because you're 31, right? Yeah. And so you're on the back end. Most folks would say, I think you could keep fighting.
I ain't even hit my prime yet.
That's what I'm saying. But most people would say that you're 31. Because I'm saying you got fighters now 23, 24.
Yeah.
It's just
Young
crazy.
punks.
It's crazy, right?
Young punks.
And so, just like how many more years do you think you have, and what are your plans post-fighting, and how you want to, leverage all your success and to parlay that into, like, you could do whatever you want. If you could do whatever you want post-fighting, what would it be?
Storytelling, like writing movies, writing shows. Like I got a binder back at home where I've sat like, how you think I made it through those factory jobs? But I'm literally sitting just writing movies in my head while I'm doing the work. That's how I used to make it through work. Wow.
Ryan Coogler is my man. He did Wakanda. He did all the Creeds, Fruitvale Station. I just got him a boxing trainer 2 days ago. We just talked.
Tell him come do some jiu-jitsu. Do some jiu-jitsu and talk. And like, yeah, you like, how can I parlay my suspect? Like, getting like, bro, like I used to play with y'all on the video game, bro. Like for real, bro. Like, and now we sitting here, we talking and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I seen that, like I've seen the other side of that. Like, I just got to this. Like, I didn't make it to the UFC till I was 28.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I just grew up being a fan. So it's like.
So who would you compare because basketball, who would you compare your style to? Like, if you were an NBA player, who would you say?
LeBron. We're going right out there. We're just gonna jump out and say it.
I'm gonna just give you the look. I'm gonna give him the look that Buddy gave him What were you working at? What look your supervisor gave you?
Yeah. Just a complete package, physique just amazing. Physical attributes just unreal. Yeah, bro. I think me and Obronsky pretty close knit. Pretty close knit.
So last thing. We want to know, you talked about injuries, you talked about like how crazy the sport is. What was the craziest injury you ever got? And you talked about your one loss, but you going to fights and stuff. What was something, obviously, we don't want to give away too much of its effect in coming future, but what was something you went into where you overcame a fight and won at a crazy level where you're hurt?
Yeah. Craziest injury would have to be the elbow dislocation in the Paul Craig fight. And the crazy thing about that was, and I don't think I ever told nobody this, my elbow was already feeling funny like before, leading up like that week. And I actually overslept my physical therapy session for them to work on my elbow the day of the fight. So I missed my PT session, and then I go because usually if you look at it, whenever he grabbed my arm, I had no reason, I wasn't panicked at all because I had no reason to panic because I've been there a million times. Even when he dislocated it and I rolled over, if you notice, I was trying to grab my arm because I'm thinking usually it's there, and that's where you stack somebody up at. Only thing was I looked back and I realized he still had it, and the angle that I'm at, I'm like, that ain't good. So yeah, it was probably that. As far as the injury goes, what was you asking?
Oh, that was it. That was enough. That was enough for me. That was it.
All I could think of is him in this 30-person fight where he knocked out 10 people real fast, and I could think of because I went to this restaurant twice in Japan. Kill Bill's one of my favorite movies, and the Crazy 88 came in and she killed everybody.
I didn't fight 30 people myself. Dre.
He said the homies.
You knocked out 10 people.
He knocked out 6. He said
that's like 8. A movie of 88. That's all I'm saying.
About 8
people.
It was a nice little brawl. We was probably like.
What you say? It was the first time you realized, like, oh man, these work.
Nah, it wasn't that. I had already realized.
Anytime it's a 30-person fight, you knock out 8, you just clutch.
Also, I had trained at this point.
You were training.
I had trained at this point.
You ain't supposed to be fighting.
Huh?
This is what I want all fighters to know out there in the world, right? Stop.
I was defending myself. They swung first.
Jamal, we appreciate you pulling up. We had tons of fun, and clearly a big fan. And thanks for making yourself available to us. And man, we're gonna be there at the next fight.
We will be there, and I'm promoting every fight.
July, right? Next one, July. You think?
Probably. I'm looking at International Fight Week. That's what I'm pulling for.
And he like to go overseas.
Well, actually, it's gonna be in Vegas. This one be in Vegas.
Oh, we there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'll be right up the road. We'll be through there.
Yeah.
I forgot. You know what? I wasn't surprised about it. I just want this on record. I wasn't surprised by it whenever you joined the Warriors and they started feeding like that.
I appreciate that.
Because here's the thing, right? I was you on 2K before you got there. All right, about 2011, about 2011, 2012, I made my player. We took our talents to the great Golden State. I won your championships before you did. So I like to think like in my mind, I laid a blueprint.